bum. Bum bum.
And we're live at the Comic Festival Breda 2025, and here with our special guest, Colin Wilson. Nice to have you here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. If you introduce yourself, Colin, what are you doing in the comic world?
It's been a long time, but I've been gainfully employed for probably 20 or 30 years. I was originally grew up in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And we had no comics in those days that you could be paid to do. So yeah. I went to the UK originally and turned it into being a professional, learned my apprenticeship there. And luckily I've been gainfully employed ever since.
Oh, great. And if you look at your work, where does people can know you from?
Well, in most cases, it's work published in Europe, mostly in France, and then translated into various languages.
Yep.
And that's been the goal for me from the beginning as well, because I really enjoy European comics. I discovered them in New Zealand and thought one day I could go and meet the people that do it, and I never dreamed that I could actually be doing European comics in those days. But I've never felt the urge to go and work in America, although I have done a couple of times. I've been lucky enough to work on Star Wars, but American superhero comics are just not my thing at all. I really enjoy the way that comics are produced in Europe.
What's the biggest difference to you when it comes to European comics and American comics?
Possibly the creative freedom. You're a part of a big machine if you're working for the Americans, and I'd never really enjoyed that. Plus, superheroes. I don't speak superhero. I don't understand superhero comics at all. They sort of are so unrealistic and exist in a whole different world. I like the old kind of storytelling, which is very cinematic in Europe. You're telling kind of long form stories that. The pace is much slower than the Americans, much less reliance on simple action to advance the plot. There's characters, you have to make your characters act properly in the stories, and it's the slower stories. Telling speed is much more cinematographic for me. So that was the first attraction, and discovering the quality of the graphics in Europe. I was lucky enough to discover them at the golden period of Metal Hurlant.
Yeah.
Moebius was the first one I obviously picked up on and managed to get some books in New Zealand. And then I discovered Blueberry, and I was just completely lost. I was off and running. So it was a time of big discovery for me. Lots of things to understand, and then of course when I get here and I find the world is even bigger that I knew and dreamed about, and then to actually fairly quickly start to actually produce work and get published in Europe was just a dream for me. It was a wonderful time.
And how do you start to write that Blueberry? What is the process?
I'd originally started writing things for myself, science fiction things, to draw the script and the writing, but the translation proved to be so complicated, much more so than I imagined. And I thought that it was probably better to actually collaborate directly with French storytellers, writers, and of course Blueberry came along, and it was always being written by Jean-Michel Charlier, and realizing that this was a giant of European comics was quite an honor. So he took that problem away from me. I didn't need to have to deal with that. The hands of my books, the writing of my books were in his good hands, and he could also carry on the continuity of Blueberry, having already produced probably 25 books with Jean Giraud.
And if you look at Blueberry, is it big in New Zealand?
Sorry?
Is it Blueberry? Is it big in New Zealand? Or is it...
no. European, even to this day, European comics are completely unknown except for Asterix and Tintin. So that's one of the disadvantages of living in Australia, is that no one sees my work at all. And it is a very unfortunate trait of English reading public, is that they don't have an interest in anything else other than something that's in English. So no one knows anything about Blueberry or anything about European comics except Asterix.
Do you think it would be a good idea if you maybe got a YouTube channel who talks about European comics in English?
It possibly would be, but I leave that for other people to decide.
Of course.
and most times I enjoy a little bit the isolation. I can work away, and with the internet these days is such a wonderful advantage that I can work from halfway around the world, and it doesn't create any problems at all. I can directly upload all the work directly to the publishers. Whereas when I first came to Europe in 1982 or 83, that was impossible. I had to be living in France to work for the French French bande dessinée industry.
All right. And you are now today walking through the lanes of the comic festival Breda. Do you also now buy European books, comic books, or?
Not any longer, because I have to avoid it because I have very little space available for collecting books anymore. So I have to resist the urge to want to buy everything that I want to. And so events like this are just a wonderful opportunity for me to actually catch up with a lot of things that I know nothing about at all. Especially being isolated after COVID in Australia, and not have. I used to regularly come back to Europe. To talk to the people I'm working with and to do a few signings at a few conventions like this, festivals like this.
Yeah.
Whereas not traveling made it more difficult to keep up with everything that was going on, and so the isolation has its advantages. I can concentrate on working.
Yeah, of course.
But I really missed the personal contact with the authors and creators that I'm working with, and to see all the other fantastic stuff that's being produced that otherwise it just passed me by completely.
And are you reading now digital if you live in Australia?
I could be, but I have another problem that I actually read very few comics. Comics are 24 hours a day of my occupation producing them, that I actually find that these days I don't read a lot of other comics. I like to look at them and to see what other people are doing. But it's when I'm reading, I prefer to be either doing documentation, research, and reading in the fields that I enjoy to learn about. So when I first got, obviously, La Jeunesse de Blueberry, I just spent months and months reading up all the literature and the historical references and things to actually learn as much as I could about the American Civil War.
Yeah.
And I still do that sort of thing, and I tend to enjoy genre fiction as well, just to escape from the work that I'm doing at that particular time. You kind of you need to clear the brain out a little bit and broaden your horizons a little bit, rather than what you're producing.
I can
imagine. So, what are your favorite genres when you read, and what are your favorite genres when you write?
It's changed a lot. When I first arrived in the UK and was working on Judge Dredd, and then coming over to Europe, I was at that stage a huge science fiction fan, and I was reading everything, but that by actually wanting to write some science fiction myself actually stopped me actually reading what other people were doing. And since then, it's been all sorts of. I read a lot of nonfiction, mostly biographies, historical things, anything that's kind of only peripherally involved in the work that I do, but it's just keeps the interest going as far as historical things go, especially. And I mean historical, anything in the past, not necessarily 100 years ago, but
no.
So the genre of fiction, I still like what's I think in France is called policier, police procedural. It's the same as watching television series. It's thrillers and some of the material being produced for television these days is really extraordinary.
Did you ever write for television?
No. I'm not a big on the writing. I leave that to the professionals.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right. I can imagine. Yeah.
So, what is the project you're most proud of?
The
project you're most proud of.
In many ways, it's got to be La Jeunesse de Blueberry. I mean, it was such a huge possibility to be offered, an opportunity to be offered working on such a big series. And it was, of course, my dream to just meet the people that were producing it. And when they surprised me by asking if I'd be interested in doing La Jeunesse de Blueberry, I was a little overwhelmed at the time. It was I didn't think what's the phrase? I was not worthy.
Oh yeah, I'm not worthy.
And I actually said no originally at the first meeting, but fortunately my wife was sitting beside me, and and Francois Cordigiani, who actually I asked later to actually write Blueberry after Jean-Michel died, were both kicking me under the table,
Of course.
saying they're making an offer that you can't refuse. And because I had I thought for a start I was concerned that Blueberry to me was Giraud and Charlier, and I didn't want to see anything done by anyone else because I wanted to see more from Jean Giraud with Blueberry. So it sort of scared me a little bit that I was being asked to follow in the footsteps of my idol. And eventually I said yes because I hoped I would work side by side with him a little bit like what he had done with Gigi back in his formative years. But unfortunately, he just moved at that time. He was in the process of moving that very week to Tahiti. And I never saw him for the next year. So no tutelage from the great master, unfortunately. I was just pretty much left on my own. But he was everyone was very accepting of the fact that I wasn't Jean Giraud. Thankfully, and it worked very well, and it also gave us the possibility for us to be able to become legal and resolve the work permit situation for myself and my wife, who was by that stage doing colour for my own work and other artists, because that had become a problem as well, because it took a long time and a lot of legal work to be actually finally.
Oh, sorry. Do you have a new dream now? Something you really want to accomplish?
I'd like to live another 10 years.
I'm
at a stage now where I'm starting to feel my age, and it's a little bit disconcerting, and it was become worrisome a little bit being isolated back in Australia. And that's one of the reasons why I decided that if I can do this and the people are interested, then I should be coming over here more often and actually continue, not thinking of retiring at all. I actually want to be able to continue drawing if I can manage it.
You're just living your dream.
Exactly. I mean, I'm so the luckiest person in the world. I'm doing something I never dreamed would be an opportunity back in the days in New Zealand, doing other things. I mean, who can be luckier? It's a great profession to be in. And people still remember things. I'm signing books that I did 30 years ago, and be able to talk to people at festivals like this is just a wonderful opportunity to actually meet the people that are that you're working for.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yes. And is this you visit this festival many times? I heard.
Well, yes, very much. This is a special festival for me because the very, very first festival I ever did, just as someone sitting behind a desk signing things, was here in, I think, 85 or 86. And it had just been announced that I was going to be working on La Jeunesse de Blueberry, and Charlier and Jean Giraud, I think, were here at that time.
Yeah.
It was a special event for me that I have fond memories of actually, it was in the other building at the time. And I think this would be my third or fourth return. I think I like going to festivals where I know the people that are involved, and that I know that it's going to be a kind of a friendly atmosphere. The big, huge festivals are interesting, and going to San Diego or to going to the big Parisian one that usually used to be in October is impressive for a while, but they're so exhausting. Angoulême, I'm happy not to ever get invited back. It's wonderful that they exist, but when you're kind of having to fit into the organisation like that, and the crowds, I'm not ever comfortable with anyway. So those big festivals, I'm done with. I think.
What's the main reason?
It's a different sort of thing because you have to work so fast, and I like to be able to talk. And it took me years to be able to speak French enough that I could actually talk to people while I'm dedicating books. But it's just the contact with the public. Whereas something in San Diego, a festival like that, 4 or 5 days of complete hell. It's just the assault of the number of people, the amount of things going on, and the kind of organizational problems you've got, that just doesn't interest me at all. It's the familiarity. People that live in Breda are coming back to get my book signed now that I first met 20 years ago. Yeah, and they still live here.
Great,
I think that's wonderful. Yeah, it's the friendliness of that interests me most.
It's a great day because you're here today with us. But it's also a sad day because this is the last day that this festival is going to be organized.
Yes, I learned
wherever.
that after I'd offered to come this year.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing. Hopefully it may evolve into something different and something new. But I can understand, given the amount of the effort involved and the time it takes for the people organising events like this, that eventually they've got to hand it on to the next generation.
What's your most fond memory of this festival?
Of this festival?
Yes.
Probably that first one was rather special. And after a little while, they become a bit of a blur. But because at one stage I was doing so many of them while I was still living in France. But at the time I never wrote anything down as far as a diary goes. So they tend to blend into each other. But I think that first one, even though I was not actually signing Blueberry books at the time because my first Blueberry book hadn't come out, I had a book, science fiction book that I was signing, and that would have been the first time probably I was sitting behind a table signing for the public a book of my own. So I mean, you can't repeat that. It's a wonderful feeling.
Of course. And do you have any special memories of fans you met?
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any special memories of fans you had at your table?
Well, you can. I can remember faces but not names. That's the problem. I'm sort of visual like that, and so I need to actually be reintroduced to people that look very familiar, but I can't remember when or where I last saw them. But yeah, it is. That's one of the other attractions of this event. It's so like I said, so many people are coming up with collections of my books, and that started from 30, 40 years ago. It just seems crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Mr. Colin Wilson, thank you very much for being here, and I'm really pleased to see your work. So if you are here, you're sitting here with your work or just visiting?
I know I'm sitting upstairs signing books for 2 days.
Oh, right. I will visit you.
It's a little chaotic, but
I like chaos, so it's no problem.
Well, yeah, but I'm enjoying myself. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Colin Wilson. Heb je genoten van deze video? Helemaal top. Ben je nog geen lid? Abonneer je dan even. Dat is helemaal gratis. En dan komt deze video nog weer verder op YouTube. En wil je ons ondersteunen? Want de video die je nu gekeken hebt, die zijn niet gesponsord door leveranciers of door uitgeverijen. Maar dat kan je op dit moment doen. Als je onder de video zie je een knopje lid worden. Als je daarop klikt, dan voor een bedrag van een speciaal biertje per maand ondersteun je ons. En als wij de video's eerder klaar hebben met editen, zie jij hem als eerste. Dus dat is helemaal cool. Dus wil je ons ondersteunen en wil je dat we meer van dit soort video's blijven maken? Denk aan deze video, rode stoel. Noem het maar op. Dan, dat zou heel tof zijn. Maar daar hebben we jouw hulp zeker nodig. Alvast bedankt en fijn 2026.
Bam, bam.